Wow.
It's a challenging one.
You mean the miracle solution? So
Is there a silver bullet out there, Dan?
I don't. Well, I think that the energy system is so big and complex. It's so large that I don't. It's hard to. I mean, maybe one will emerge. Something. 100 years from now, you probably think that. I mean, the direct sunlight is the one that, really truly harnessing the sunlight would be the way to do it with storage, but I think that's still far away. But I would guess if you say what's the ultimate answer, it's sunlight, I think. And of course, so much energy is anyway indirect sunlight. I think in the nearer term, I really do think, and I'm really glad to see the emphasis on energy efficiency, because I think so much can be achieved relatively quickly, although I'd caution it also takes investment. It doesn't just happen because you say it happens. In fact, I see that often in the energy area. People think if you just say something, it's happened. But, so anyway, I don't know if it's, people talk about silver buckshot rather than silver bullets to solve it. But so anyway, I guess that's what I would say is the ultimate, but yeah.
There's a gentleman in the center here who has a question.
Hi, morning. I'm Raja from Oli Parsons. Okay, my question is, in the lecture you said about in the past 10 years before, you said for a project investment, you said 500 million. Now you said the project price went up to 5 billion. Okay, now the technology has developed much, and I found most of the energy companies, their efficiency is very good, and they're making very big profit. What's the way you think to bring down the project cost? That's my question.
His question was about bringing down project costs for global projects.
That's project cost. It's interesting. Public see the price. Companies, as you suggest in your question, see the cost. And I think there was a real cost shock that ran through the energy industry. We created these cost indices to try and track them, and that found that basically the cost of doing a project between 2004 and 2008 doubled. So, and that was quite destabilizing. Costs have come down somewhat, not as much maybe as people would have expected. Part of that has to do with that there being enough people in the industry and consistency of it and capacity, because when you had $10 barrel oil, a lot of capacity was squeezed out of the industry. So I think the energy industries, all of them are going to be very preoccupied with the cost question and managing the cost question.
And is the trend going to be within the industry towards scaling up, greater consolidation to help drive down those costs and achieve economies of scale?
Well, I think that there's going to be constantly, I was just looking back on the mergers at the end of the 1990s, and so much of it was driven by the need to gain scale to bring down costs. So one way or the other, people are looking for how do you manage your costs better. How do you change your organization to do that? Partnerships, consolidations, whatever, to get scale. So I think that's going to be, definitely on the mind of managements that have to work in the industry.
Sorry, yes, you wanted to come back. Yes, go ahead, sir. You wanted to come back to that. Quickly, if you could.
Yeah.
Yes.
The thing is, okay, the study shows the world population is going to hit 9 billion in 2030. That means the energy demand has to be very high. So all energy companies has to meet the demands of the 9 billion people. If that is the case, why don't the technology is not working in such a way to reduce the cost of the entire project, simply the cost of the price of the oil or whatever the things?
So,
the question was about technology and cost pressures.
right. Well, one reason for rising demand, when you look out, is because of rising population as well as rising income. I'm not sure how that figures into the cost. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay, we can return to that after we conclude our dialogue here. But right at the back, there's a gentleman with a question.
Good morning, Dr. Daniel Yergin, participants here. My name is Ron Tan. I'm from Singapore Inferno Field. I have 2 questions. One, you're mentioning about this unnatural gas. Do you include unnatural gas as the gas hydrates from the bottom of lakes or ocean? The other question is, I think you do not believe in peak oil, at least for the moment. But why is it during the recent crisis about a year ago, when the oil price dropped, it just fell slightly below $40, okay? Despite of the various tankers of storage oil around Singapore water and also in Greece and also around Brunei waters. Can you explain this phenomenon? Why is it staying above almost above $30 at the time of the crisis, and at the moment it's hovering around $80? Is it because of the weak dollar, or is it because the oil are in the hands of a few? I thank you.
Well, the first question, unconventional natural gas, did not include hydrates, really meant shale gas primarily, although there's coal bed methane, which is, in Australia and other places. So, hydrates is a whole other story. I think I believe, we believe it does go back to the dollar, to expectations, to the role of oil as a financial instrument. In our research, our company has the largest databases on oil fields. We looked at over 1,000 oil fields in terms of decline and everything. We're just guided by the data and the analysis of the data in terms of supply. And as I say, we do see that the supply is there, but that because the supply is there doesn't mean it's going to be developed in a timely fashion.
Okay, we've got time for 1 or 2 more questions. So there's a lady at the back there who'd like to come in. Yes.
I'm Xu Qinghua. I'm from China, Renmin University, an energy studies center. Yesterday, I went to a bookstore. I tried to buy the book, Dr. Yergin, 2008 edition, but I was told that it has been sold out. That's
either good news or bad news.
And I think that how popular you are and how popular the energy issue now, because you have been referring to China for so many times during your lecture. So I didn't hand up my hands when they suggested the successful and unsuccessful the Copenhagen climate change negotiation next month, because I'm not sure that the definition of the success. So this is my first question. So how do you define the success of the climate change negotiation next month? My second question is for Mr. Yergin. Would you please tell me your view on China's government's stand in this negotiation? Because the Chinese...
Stand on energy or climate or...
I mean the climate change in Copenhagen. What will Chinese government respond this time?
Yeah. I think what does China want to get out of it?
I should be asking you, I believe.
But I really want to know, from outsiders of China. Thank you very much.
Okay.